Hi, and welcome to another edition of Lee's Thoughts. And today we have a water softener that a vendor has given us. And it's a free product. It's a paid review. And today I want to test. It's an RV water softener, so I want to give it a good shot and see if there's it doesn't make a noticeable difference. One of the things that I know that water softeners do when I used to live in a stick and brick house was that it would give me more suds when I was in the shower and stuff. So let's test it that way. So I'm going to use some dishwashing soap, and I'm going to put it in my hands because my hand soap is foamy, so I don't think that's going to be a good test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start. This is non-softened water, so I'm going to wet my hands, and I'm just going to get an amount of that amount of soap. You see that amount of soap? And let's see how much suds I can build up. Pretty sudsy. I would say a pretty decent amount of suds. I would say pretty good, actually. So, I think we have decent, I don't think it's hard water that we have. So that's pretty decent suds. And in a decent amount of time, too. So let's see if we see any change or if I feel any change. So here we are. I've taken the products out of the box. See, we've got a handle. We've got some tape to put these all together. We've got a Y, we've got a valve, got some different connectors that we may or may not need. We'll see when we get there. Then we have the water softener itself. And we have to put the water softener resin, to start out with, in the water softener. So I read, and the water softener resin is good for 2,000 gallons before it has to be regenerated. And there's two things. There's two things you can do when you regenerate it. You can either buy a new bag of this. 2,000 gallons is quite a lot, honestly. You can either buy a new bag of the resin, beads, or you can drain the water out and put a pound to a pound and a half of any kind of salt, iodized salt or non-iodized salt, in the inlet of this right here. Pound and a half of salt just directly into the input, and then you just run water through it so it's not salty anymore, and that regenerates you for another 2,000 gallons. And to give you some inference on 2,000 gallons, what that's like, we live full-time out here on the oil fields, and we have a 500-gallon tank of water right behind us, and that gets filled up, and we never use the whole 500 gallons. We use probably about 300 gallons of it every 2 weeks. So, and we are full-time. We shower with it, we cook with it, we do everything with it. 300 gallons every 2 weeks, so do the math. That would be 14 weeks of full-time living, and most people don't live full-time in their RVs. So, if you're a full-timer, it would be every 14 weeks you'd have to regenerate this. All right, so there we go. So, next step is we take this off, put the resin in. So we're going to take this head off, right here. We're going to cap this tube so the resin doesn't go in there. And you want to keep the tube in there because you don't want it to have to shove the tube back in there. And the resin is very fine particles. Got that resin taken care of. If you're curious about what the resin looks like, it's just little teeny beads. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's just little teeny beads. I believe they're negatively charged. So then we're going to take that cap back off, and you're going to want to save that cap in case you ever want to put resin back in there. Reinstall the head. We need to move over to where my water is. Definitely want the water coming out of this filter right here. So I'm going to turn the water off to my house. Okay, so I've let the pressure off in the house. So now all we got to do is loosen this up. I just always find on plastic fittings, sometimes it's better to go ahead and use your Teflon tape. I put it on backwards, but it should still be okay. That seems to be pretty good and tight in there. And this was a provided hose that they came with the water softener. Just gonna cinch that down just a little tighter than I got it, since this is on. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to put it on to the input side of this. Well, you know what? We're going to go ahead and Teflon tape everything. I'm just going to self-admit, I goof up Teflon tape all the time. So that's nice and snug. Right there. Got to make it leak-proof. Okay. And then the only thing that's left is to put we'll need an adapter on the output side. So we'll need some Teflon tape. Just cinch that down just a little bit. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put this quick adapter on here since they gave it to me. And then I just need to put some Teflon tape on this side. And screw that into my hose. Get all this old Teflon tape out of here. So at this point in time, we are ready to hook it up to the house, with the exception of we need to flush this out. And it says, and I'm going to refer to the instructions, we'll pause. So it says to flush the new resin out for a minimum of 5 minutes. So we're going to do that. I'm going to turn the water on, and we're going to let this flush out for a minimum of 5-6 minutes, and then we'll be back. Let's turn that water on. Filling up the softener now. There you go. The water's coming out. So we'll be back in 5 minutes. All right. So we've done actually about a 6.5 minute purge of the water through all the medium here. So now it's time to turn the water off. Hook this up to the RV plumbing. Then we're going to go ahead and do another hand washing and see if it's any foamier. But that is how you install your RV water softener. And hopefully it softens the water, and 2,000 gallons. I think that's pretty good, folks. So all I'm going to do now, and they included this quick disconnect here, real quick. Just push it back, like that. Turn the water back on. And I'm going to, real quick, just check for leaks because we have no... All right, so I turned the water off inside. And I'd like to keep my videos real. So we do have a leak. We have a leak right here where this is. So we're gonna have to turn the water off and see if we can get this a little tighter. It's not leaking here, it's not leaking here. It's just where this joint comes here. So I'm gonna video off and take this apart. So what I have figured out, what I think I've done wrong here, is there's no washer here. So I have a washer. Seems like there should be a washer down in here, and there's no washer. So I'm going to take the washer off of this part and put it in here. Looks like it maybe was missing a washer in the shipment. So I'm going to put this washer in here, and we're going to give that a go. In fact, I'm going to do it one better. I'm going to take the washer out of this Y. So I've taken the washer out of this Y they sent me to that I'm not going to use, and I'm going to put it back in the part that I took it out of. I'm going to put some Teflon tape in this extender. So I'm just putting an extender in here. When I put this in here, it seemed to have bottomed out in there, but I think that was probably because it was missing a washer. But just to be on the safe side, I've now put a washer inside there. Now I'm putting the extender in there, and I'm gonna cinch that down real good and tight with the pliers. I should have a wrench, but I don't have it handy on me, so I'm just gonna put it down here with the pliers. Should be fine. Should only have to go in here once. That should be tight enough. And then, I'm going to disconnect this real quick so I don't get it all twisted up. Spin this in here. Now this part has a washer in it also. I think this will probably fix the issue. I think it was just a lack of a washer. Not any problem with the equipment itself. Well, in a way it was a problem with the equipment because it should have had a washer in there. And I bet you this side does have a washer in it because this side is not leaking. Okay, so and I'll just reconnect this up to my water supply. And I think we are going to be golden this time. I've got the water inside the house all turned off, so we should be ready for a pressure check. Turning the water on. Okay, I must have loosened this piece here. So let's, oh yeah, this is very loose. But these are all good things to show on the video. Check all your joints. All right, now I'll try her again. Beautiful. No leak. Now I haven't got the water on yet, but no leak here. I've got no leak coming from my supply hose. Down here we never had leaks anyway. So now I'm going to turn this water on, which will feed water to the softener. I do still have a small leak coming from this joint right here. Maybe I can just tighten this right in place and fix that. Does appear like I got it. I'll take it all the way around if I can. Just so I can. Okay. 0 leaks. Oh, no, I got one more drop off of that puppy. It may have been a leftover leak. Let's give it another minute. I'll tighten it one more little tight. I don't want to strip it either. It's plastic. Have a rag to dry things off with here. Oh. Well, guys, this isn't good. I do have to ding them a little bit on this one. And I have to show you on this one. This is their supplied hose. And it is leaking here. And that is all their fault there. Hopefully you're seeing that. This is their supplies hose right here, and it is leaking. I can fix that. I can just bring mine up my hose right up here, which is not a big deal. But yeah, their supplied hose is leaking. So that's no fun. So I'm gonna turn the water. So what I've done is I've eliminated their cheap and crappy hose. Sorry water softener company, but it shouldn't leak the first time you put pressure on it. And I'm just hooking up my little hose there. Everything else was not leaking, so we're gonna try. Hopefully, by me not moving it around, I haven't started a leak again. Alrighty, we do not have any leaks. Water softener is in place. It's been flushed, and I have no leaks on either side. So let's sum up. Water softener, the unit itself looks really good. We're going to test it here in a minute, as far as see if it gets us some more suds. The unit itself looks like a great water softener. The medium that they sent inside looks great quality medium. I've actually installed my own water softener in my own home before. It looks like it's going to be great. All of the connectors they sent, very handy, very good. I love the quick disconnect connector. That'll be great when we start moving, and we can just quick disconnect that thing, shove it in the back of the truck and go. I think that's going to be great. The only ding I have so far, sorry water softener company, you got to send us a bigger, better hose. I mean, first time I connect it up and put it under pressure, it leaks, pops the hose. You have to have a very, very reinforced hose. This is, I can feel it's super cheap. This would never work under pressure. If you're going to be in the business of selling water softeners, you need a much, much better hose than this. I'm going to tell you that right now. So in reference to the water softener itself, this would not stop me from buying the water softener, because like you saw, I just hooked it straight up to my filter anyway. Just know that you either need to buy a new little short hose that's reinforced, or just hook it up to your filter like I did. So I mean, I was out nothing. It didn't cost me anything, except that it was just, this would be nice to have. It was convenient to have this longer hose. So there you go. That's the only ding so far. So let's wash our hands and see if it's any different, should we? I've always noticed that you get more suds with soft water. Now, one thing with soft water that I didn't mention, when we're out here RVing and we're living on water that we have no idea where it came from these wells and things like that, it does take all the hard metals. That medium that they put in water softeners takes all the hard metals out of your water. So I mean, you still have to have that pre-filter to get all the sediment and garbage out of that, because that'll plug up a soft water or water softener in a heartbeat. I had to have a pre-filter on my home also. But water softeners take out all the heavy metals that you don't want to drink. It takes all of that out, or a good majority of it out. So water softeners are great for that. So that's a big plus for water softeners. That's what makes it soft. So we're gonna give that Lee's super scientific hand washing. So I'm gonna put about the same amount of soap in, just so you can see. There we go, about the same amount. And let's see if we get any more suds. I think it might be suds here. I think it's suds here. Yeah, it's suds here for sure. It is definitely suds here. Absolutely suds here. Oh yeah. Richer, creamier, suds here. Absolutely for sure. No doubt about it. Absolutely, yes. Suds here, suds here, suds here. You want to get it today?